This is a special guest with me today. Yay! Okay.
Yay.
As usual, please do drop a comment. Let's know where you're joining from. And if this is your first time ever of joining my live series, you're welcome to this space. Today, you're going to really have a great time. So let me go ahead and introduce my special guest today. Okay. So we have here Miss Maura Mitchell. She's the managing director of Entrepreneurial Services, Division 2 at the Women's Business Development Center here in Illinois, downtown Chicago, correct?
Yes, uh-huh.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for being here. And
sure.
fun fact, I was actually part of one of your programs. Was it 2022? That's where we connected, and that was amazing. We'll probably talk a little bit about that as
Okay,
well.
great.
Awesome. So the WBDC, that is the Women's Business Development Center, is a nationally recognized nonprofit in the field of women's economic development, founded in 1986. The WBDC provides programs to accelerate women's business ownership and strengthen the impact of women on the economy by fueling economic growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your team. I love this one, right? Ms. Mura's team received over $1 million in CARES Act funding from the Small Business Administration, that is SBA, right? To
Uh-huh.
assist small businesses negatively impacted by COVID. Their assistance is in the form of non-cost one-on-one advising, virtual workshops, multi-week cohort-based programming for all industries, and specialized multi-week programs for early childhood education industry. And Ms. Mora here with us, she's is a public interest attorney who has a passion for partnering with entrepreneurs to work with them from ideation to revenue. By helping small businesses and not non-profits with strategy, financial and legal issues, you've provided insights into what it takes, for your clients to persevere. I love that, right?
Yeah.
To help others define their dreams and create pathways to success. Most importantly, you're a relationship builder. I can testify to that. And you care deeply about your client's progress. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. It's such an honor.
Thank you for that
Thank you for
nice.
being here. I
Thank you for
see
the
already people saying, oh, Solomon saying, wow, so you're from Chicago. Yes, yes,
yes.
we're here in Chicago. Yes, we're and let us know where you're joining from. So Miss Mora, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing well today. It's sunny in Chicago finally. We've had so much rain and cold weather, so it is exciting to be here.
Yes, this is my favorite time of the year,
Yes, me
right? I
too.
love summer. I come out in summer.
Yeah.
Okay, you and I, we care so much about entrepreneurs.
We do, yes.
You've dedicated yourself to guiding, coaching, serving, supporting, teaching, everything. How has that journey been for you, right? What are the key highlights and what have you seen on that journey? Just feel free to share. Thank you.
Yes. So I have been at the Women's Business Development Center for over 4.5 years. And I originally came in with the idea that every entrepreneur needs a business plan before they start their business. But what I was learning is people were spending so much time on their business plan. It was, 20 or 30 pages, and they would spend weeks and months on their business plan. And then they would be done with it. And the day they launched, their business plan didn't mean anything anymore
Wow.
because the whole situation was different than what they had thought because they didn't go out and do enough primary market research. So
Wow.
so they didn't know what the client wanted. They didn't know what the client needed because they had spent so much time writing and writing and writing. They didn't get out of the building to talk to other people to figure out what the problem that they were solving was.
Wow. So when you talk about client market research, what's that? What should people do to get that data? What are practical things they could do? Because you're absolutely right. Everything is about the business plan, and I say it's like a building plan. What about building the building, right?
Yes, exactly. So I found that people weren't getting anywhere. So we started using the business model canvas, which is the one-page business plan. And what we did is we worked through assumptions. So, really, when you start a business, everything's an assumption. I believe that I'm going to solve the problem of sore backs. I believe I want to set up a yoga studio. I believe my target market is going to be women aged 30 to 40. But you don't know the truth until you get out and talk to people and really figure it out. You need to go have interviews with people that are 30 to 40 and make sure that's the right age group. You have to make sure that people are going to come to a yoga studio for back pain because maybe they go to chiropractors and they're happier there.
Wow.
So it's really just getting out and talking to people, coming up with a list of assumptions about your business and getting out and talking to people. And I usually recommend one-on-one interviews because you get a lot of good information from that. And to be truthful, you don't really know if people are going to buy until they actually do buy. But by having a one-on-one interview and seeing the person's eyes and gathering their passion and whether or not they think your idea is great is a step closer than just writing it all down. My target market is women. You really have to prove who your target market is.
I love it.
Yes. So it's a lot more. Now I coach people a lot more on, reaching outside your comfort zone. And we've had this discussion before, Toyin. People are afraid. People don't want to go out and talk to strangers. So we try to build their mindset around growth and how to approach strangers in the best manner, how to create your assumptions, and then how to best test them.
I love it because one of the things I try to say when I'm coaching is the customer is the heart of the business.
Yes.
When we talk about cash flow, blood flow,
Yes.
right? I try to say, let's remove ourselves from the heart in terms of my assumptions and let's understand the realities of the customer, the emotions of the customer.
Yes.
Right? One of the things I also feel we need, now this is me, I try to say the more technical we can be in entrepreneurship, the more successful we can be versus less emotional, right? Because we have our emotions wrapped up in our businesses. I mean, let's just, yes, like it's, we are passionate about this. We feel so, we are convinced it's the right thing. You're talking about assumptions. We are in our own mind. We've manufactured a reality for ourselves. And your point is that may be different from the customer's reality.
Yes.
And we need to seek to investigate the person that is actually going to pay for our services and products. We actually have to do due diligence to understand their reality if they're facing the problems or the challenges we say we can solve for them.
Yes.
So I love it. Please. Yes.
Yeah. I had a client and she was creating greeting cards and had them online, and she wanted her target market to be 20 to 30-year-olds. So she would sell the greeting card and then fill it out for the 20 to 30-year-old, and then she would send it for them. So it was almost like, ready-made greeting cards. But what she found out, and she had taken this fairly far, is that 20 to 30-year-olds don't send cards.
Wow.
So and they were beautiful cards. So she took the beautiful cards out of the online gateway and took them to boutique shops. And then people ran in and they were getting a gift and they picked up the greeting cards. But she didn't know that, she hadn't done enough primary market research to realize that 20 to 30-year-olds don't go online and they rarely send gift cards, but maybe when they're in shopping for that gift, if they go in shopping, and maybe her target market is the older generation, or just anyone who likes to go shopping for gifts rather than online gift shopping, they found her beautiful cards and then she sold her cards there.
I love it. I love that example you gave because we have to think about the product itself.
Yes.
Who needs that product and who is willing to pay for that product? And then
Exactly.
you also talked about channels. There are different channels to distribute that product, which is another decision point, right? That we have to investigate is okay, the product is not the problem, but the channel. The example you gave, it wasn't really the problem that the you said the cards were beautiful. So
Hmm.
the cards were not the problem, but the location or the channel through which we're trying to distribute it did not align to the consumer needs.
Correct. Yeah.
That is, I love it because when it's time for us to build our business, what I call business growth strategy, we actually have to look at everything: the product, the brand, the messaging, the content, the customer,
Yeah.
uh,
A
all
cost.
of this. It could be anything. And sometimes, so let's talk about this. Those who give up, do you think they give up too soon? Or maybe they didn't do enough deep research? Because what you just shared is just an example of a small tweak that made a huge difference. But she could have given up right there on online and everything. She could have just said, I'm done.
Yes. Well, we always say fail fast and then get back up on the horse and take what you've learned and apply it to another problem that you want to solve or to another way of solving the same problem. I always say fall in love with a problem.
Mm,
So
mm,
currently, I have a client who her mother and father were both at home and needed home care. And she found that the home care services were not up to her needs and up to her wants. So she is trying to figure out how to solve that problem. And
mm.
she has many different ideas. Maybe it is family related and they each take turns, or maybe she could build a business and then scale
Wow.
and apply it elsewhere. So she's fallen in love with helping elderly
I
with
love it.
yeah,
You and I, like, I call what you just shared mindset of an entrepreneur.
yes,
Mindset of an entrepreneur is really as a problem solver, solution provider. I say you're the architect, you're design engineer, you're engineering a
yes,
solution, right? Because what we're bringing to the market, the product and the service actually has to be engineered for success. We have to design it in such a way that is useful and it's beneficial or transformative to another person, because that's actually what they're paying for. Unfortunately, though, most people, particularly in services, may not be applying that engineering design framework, because in products, we have new product introduction. So in retail, we go through this entire cycle of new product introduction. But I'm
uh-huh,
finding that most people in the services lane, they just rush in and offer a service without engineering or designing that
right,
service. Have you
yeah,
seen the same?
yes. In fact, we try to recommend that they do a minimum viable product or a minimum viable service. And maybe that means you are a therapist and you want to help others feel better, you know, get well. But instead of opening a whole practice, maybe you start doing some education and doing
Mm,
a small piece and getting out and educating at community centers, at libraries. And then you find out what people are asking you questions about.
love it.
So maybe they're asking questions about how to get their body healthy rather than their mind.
Hmm.
Maybe, yeah, maybe you should, go into dietary needs
Yes.
or exercise, but you find that out by doing mini tests.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it it's like a doctor that is giving a dose a dose of
Yes.
medication. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's like productizing services, but don't just don't just overwhelm people with everything. I'm a medical doctor. Do you know I went to this school and that school? No, no, no. When someone comes in, assess the needs and give the right dose and
Yeah.
give them the instruction. Use it 3 times a day.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what people would come to your office for: specific solutions for
Yes.
specific ailment or need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is what people are paying for. So I think maybe the challenge is, are we complicating this too much? Are we making this too complex, right? Entrepreneurship.
I think we are. That's why I love the whole idea of starting small and testing until you get it right. I had a client who was selling skincare to everyone. And what she said she started because her skincare line that she had created helped her daughter's eczema.
Mm.
And there's the problem. So instead of saying to everyone, I can solve every problem with my new skincare lotion, why don't you just say, I can help children with eczema with my skincare line? And
That's
then
it.
you get the people that really have the problem, and you use all the keywords that you need in your, on your website. You're found through SEO rather than trying to be everything to everybody. You really make it small. I think if you start really small and then scale, it works better rather than trying to be big and then paring it down.
Right. And someone like myself, I really appreciate what you just said, because I started big. I'm still big.
You are big, yeah.
I started big because I used to work with the biggest retailer in the world, right?
Yes.
So I'm coming from Fortune 1, big business. And when I started mine, I was like, let's go big. I'm like,
Yes.
they've had more than 50 plus years to go the route you're taking. Start
Yes.
where you are. And if you look at the history of even companies like Walmart, like they started in one location, right? The biggest company in the world, the largest company in the world, started small,
Yes.
right? Started small, started in one store, and then expanding and then expanding. And I think that's a big lesson. It was a big lesson for me, is not to deny our dreams,
Right.
still, while still having the big vision that we have, right? I actually have a sign here that says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes.
It's this idea that in accomplishing the entire vision that we have, we must not lose sight of the daily practice and the daily discipline that are small doses in the right direction that actually leads to the overall transformation. So I think people, like, we all start with, I'm going to be big, I'm fantastic. But how you get big is you start small.
Mm-hmm.
Serve
Yeah.
one person, serve two, serve three, then engineer, put in the right structure. So when it comes to structure, what have you seen as well in terms of, do people actually put the right structures in their businesses that can support the vision that they have? I knew that.
We always recommend people think about that to start and do, kind of a strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis to take them through. Okay, well, personally, I'm good at numbers, but I'm not good at marketing. So I know on my team, when I start my business, I need some complementary people. I need someone who would be good at marketing, who could, take me to the next level in marketing. I don't need anyone to help me with finance. I mean, not yet. When I reach a certain revenue level, I'll probably not want not want to be doing the accounting. So I'm also reading this book called Rocket Fuel,
Mm,
and it talks about how most every successful startup has a dreamer and a doer.
mm,
And sometimes they are in the same person, but most often there is a separate dreamer and a separate doer. So someone who designs and someone who does. Because a dreamer doesn't always have the same skills and talents that the doer does, and the doer doesn't have the same skills and talents that the dreamer does. So it is about, you have to admit your weaknesses, which can be difficult, but get out there and find people who are strong in your weaknesses and form your advisory board to start. And a lot of times for startups, you can create an advisory board that's going to give you free advice. Maybe it's, not a big commitment. Maybe it's, can I talk to you once a month and speak to your have an advisory board meeting to start. And just do that every month until you reach a point that you really need the help, and then start paying for it.
Yes. Wow, you've said so much here. And it's incredible. I hope people understand, grasp this. Here are some things that I've seen. You talked about marketing. First time entrepreneurs, this is what I've seen, is that they've not even arrived at the conclusion to understand everything they need to build a successful business. So the behavior I tend to see is they question the fact that they need to brand. They question the fact that they need to invest in marketing at all. You and I understand without marketing, you're not reaching your desired clients or customers, right? But
Right.
first time entrepreneurs, for some reason, they assume they can bypass all of those things. Like, no, I'll
No.
just build this amazing widget and the people will come. They'll
Yeah.
find me.
Yeah. No.
No, that's it. No, like, no.
No.
Because I actually see that my experience has been that when people are 2-3 years in, that's actually the best time they are more open to seeking help. At the very beginning, there's actually little we can say because we're rushing in with so much energy, with so much passion, with so much conviction that we've got everything we need. We rush in until reality sets in. Year
Yes.
2, year 3. That's when I see more people. Even though we would love, you and I would love to catch them early, but there's just something in us that we don't seek help until we know we need help.
Right.
So, being proactive is something I recommend. So, if you're listening to us and you're considering leaving your corporate job to become an entrepreneur, please seek support, seek help, read
Yes.
books,
Yes.
learn what you need. And that's what leads me to talking about the skill development. We don't talk about the skills that is actually required to build a successful business long term because skill can be developed. Right? The basics, at least the basics can be developed. But when people don't know that they need new skills when they transition from corporate to entrepreneurship, I think that's where they think they're failing. Right?
Mm.
Because I've written articles about failing. I say learn fast. Learn fast so you don't fail.
Right.
Because we don't say pilots should fail fast because the cost of an inexperienced pilot is disastrous.
Yes. Right.
So at least my conclusion is if we can message out to people that there are actually specific skills that they need to invest in acquiring and developing that will support their journey, their entrepreneurship journey, I think the world, things will start shifting because we assume we can just go from corporate and the next day go into entrepreneurship and then the next day we're seeing all the results we want. And
Yeah.
is what's that's
Yeah.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Corporation is not like a small startup, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
it's not. And so just to name some skills that I've seen, at least I've gone through it. I say, like, when we're in corporate, right? So I spent majority of my career in corporate. The moment we want to sell ourselves looks like writing a resume, looking for a job, convincing a recruiter to interview us. In the interview process, we're convincing them we're the best candidates. And then if they accept us, then we get a job and that's it. And then maybe the next time is when you want to do your performance review, the next increase, the next title, the next promotion. My point is, no matter how uncomfortable that exercise is, as an entrepreneur, that's your full-time job.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you may do that one time or a year, incorporate that rigorous selling yourself, putting your resume, which is your brand, your story
Yes.
together. making sure you have the skills, which is like your value proposition. I can do this for you. I'm your best candidate. That exercise is so intense, right? But I now try to tell people that's what we have to do every single day.
Every single day. Yes.
Every single day, we have to work with people. We have to let them know who we are, our value proposition, our product, our services, what we can do for them. And one of the things I try to use to balance it out is for employees, once you agree on terms and conditions in terms of your salary, that's locked. But for entrepreneurs, there's no cap. But what the cap is us. We are the factor. It's
Mm-hmm.
personal development, skills, communication skills, branding, marketing. There's no limit. The world doesn't limit an entrepreneur, but the entrepreneur limits their own business
Right.
growth.
Right. But I see a lot of people who go into entrepreneurship with the idea that, they're not going to have a boss and they're going to be autonomous and flexible and they're tired of working for other people. But really, like you said, every day you are working for people.
In fact, you're working for everybody.
Working for everyone. You're working for your clients, you're working for your suppliers, you're working for your employees. So, yeah, I mean, that's a whole mindset shift in itself.
I love it because so I've discussed this with you, the mindset success program that I developed, right?
Yes.
The game plan, 12 strategies for winning. One of the key success factor is being service oriented. The more people you can serve, the more people you can offer a valuable solution to, your time, your energy, your resources. That's where businesses come in.
Right.
That's what people pay for. It's about service. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, everybody is the boss.
Yes, everyone is the boss.
I'm the boss of me, and then
Yes, right.
I love that. I think, wow, how do we get people to really understand the power of service? That really it's not about us. And the moment we can make that switch, that it's about the customer, it's about the people we can serve with our products and services, it's about us doing the work that benefits them. And I use this, analogy. I say, if you go to Walmart and you want banana, you go there, you see maybe 3.99, 4.99. But the fact, what you're paying for is the fact you didn't plant the banana,
Right.
you
And all
didn't
this,
water the banana, you did not transport, you didn't do the work. You
right.
want the banana, and we have to reward entrepreneurs for doing the work to make our lives better,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if we can help entrepreneurs understand that part of business is serving other people to make their lives better, and that's what they reward us for.
Yep. I mean, that goes back to the beginning when I said you really have to love the problem you're solving
I love
because
it.
you're serving others.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So within your agent, should I say agency or organization?
Yeah, within the nonprofit, I guess is
Yes, but it's a powerful one, right? Because I've been a part of that program. Um, what are the success factors over the years? Because you've impacted so many people, so many businesses, and you must love it. You must love it for you to
yes,
still continue doing it,
yes.
right? So just highlight a few of the amazing stories that has emerged. Anyone that you can just think about in terms of the community, how people are building businesses, how they are surviving or thriving or pivoting right through this transformation, how your team has been able to help them and serve them. Go on.
Okay, so I am also director of an Illinois Small Business Development Center, and you will find them all over the state of Illinois. Actually, they're all over the country, but it's state specific and funded by the state, and that's why we get to offer our no-cost one-on-one advising services. And the SBDC really wants to target low and moderate income individuals. And we at the Women's Business Development Center, the SBDC really works with the startups and the emerging businesses. So that's where my team works. We have other teams at the Women's Business Development Center that then take you from emerging to established. And then we have teams that work with the established businesses on access to contracts, whether it be government or corporate contracts, access to exporting contracts through our International Trade Center, and access to such things as retailer shelves if you have a product that's shown some sort of traction. Our team has had a number of success stories from taking people from startup idea to revenue. I like to tell the story about our zero waste grocery store. So they came into me with this idea. And then I said, well, are you sure there's a market need? So they went into the neighborhood in which they're working now and polled over 100 people to say, would you want a zero waste grocery store in your neighborhood? And they found that, I think they said they had only like 5% of people say, no, we're not interested. We wouldn't come in. So then they grew this grocery store, and now they've expanded to 2 locations.
Wow.
So it's a success story of them getting out and talking to people and making sure there's a need. I also worked with a woman who wanted to make bagels. So she said she lived in a community where there was no longer a national chain bagel store. So she started making bagels out of her home and selling them through the local insurance agency. She would show up on a Saturday morning and have people ask for her bagels through Facebook. They would sign up for bagels. She went there. Then she grew so large, she went into a shared kitchen and made her bagels there. And then the demand grew so large that she now has a brick and mortar.
Wow.
So she's selling bagels in the community, and she's been very successful. So again, it's those baby steps we talk about. And that's what I love to see, when I can act as an accountability partner with the client. So they come in with an idea and we work through the idea. We talk about baby steps that they can work through in the next month. And then they come back to me and we say, what other baby steps can you take? And I kind of take them along the journey until revenue. Sometimes people will come in with an idea and revenue, and we'll work through scaling. I kind of prefer the ideation to revenue.
I love that too, because I think that's critical. It's like begin with the end in mind. If you lay the right foundation, then you can move faster, you can move with speed. I also love the fact you did mention the international trade
Yes.
center that you have.
That
I've collaborated.
you've done work with them, with him.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
I've hosted
Thank
them at
you.
my event, and then was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? Right, I was also hosted. That was a success. Did you get any feedback? I think we
Yes.
had a good crowd.
Yes. He said you did a great job narrowing down to the focus that these beginners need. There were some beginners in the audience, but it was widely accepted and widely reviewed
I
well.
loved it. And the number of interests, right? So there's the interest generated, then the people who showed up, then the after support, because I also try to measure that, right? Particularly realizing that there's so many events and activities going on in the world
Yes.
today. Not every one of them is beneficial. And I think people are getting, should I say, jaded, like, oh, yet another event, yet another workshop, yet another webinar. So I always try to see those who showed up, what was the feedback? And that's been incredible, because even some followed me on LinkedIn and they reached out. They were like, oh, that was really good. Like on last year, what's it called, December, I also taught an executive class at another ITC, Joseph Business School,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And even just this week I got an email of someone that joined December, that's like 4 or 5 months ago, still saying, wow, I've been following you, everything is still evolving and emerging for me. So I love the story of impact, right? So thank you so much for sharing that, because at the end of the day, that's why we're doing this,
Yes. I
right?
love to see my clients' success.
Yes, we love to. And here's what I would also say, at least my experience is, it actually takes a kind of client that is willing to go all in,
Mm-hmm.
it makes our job of supporting and coaching and guiding them easier, because oftentimes, and I don't know if you've seen this, many people come in expecting that you will do the job.
Exactly. Yes. I think we talked about this. Didn't we talk about personal
Yes,
responsibility?
please, please,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
we have to let people know this is your journey. This is your venture. This is your progress. This is your success. We get to cheer you on.
Mm-hmm.
We get to support you. We get to empower you. We get to connect you to the resources and support you need. And we get to celebrate your win. So we are on your side.
Yes.
But we want to make sure you're in it for real. And we know it's not easy, but we believe so much in you. So I think for me, I try to set that stage, because at the very beginning of my journey, I felt like I was offering too much of myself.
Mm.
I yes, because I was so passionate, passion makes us do
Yeah. So then
the
did you get burnt out?
I got wise. I got I got wiser to say, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. mm, I'm happy to help, but not do this work of going up the pyramid of success, whether it's wealth, influence, power. All I'm offering is helping you speed it up, accelerate it, fast track it. That's what this is about. Like, I had to come to that realization that I cannot beg anybody, I
Right.
cannot drag anybody, I cannot force everybody. Or, like, I had to remove all of those. When we're passionate, right, we tend to come with our energy.
Yes.
But what I now do is applying that energy in the right spaces of creating resources, creating content, making it available to people who want it, right?
Mhm.
Making it available to people who are ready to take responsibility for their own life. It's about teaching them to fish, not fishing, and not fishing for them.
Right. Do you say this in your first session with them?
Well, no.
No.
That is actually why I developed the mindset program.
Okay.
So I designed a roadmap, and the first stop on that roadmap is addressing a lot of mindset, what I call success mindset, 12 strategies for winning. The first one is activating clarity. Do we see, are we seeing clearly ourselves, our desires, our hopes, our dreams, the journey we're going on? What do we need for that journey, right?
Mm.
Another, number two, is adopting the mindset of a champion, like
Oh, yeah.
believing in ourselves, confidence building. Do you believe in yourself that any obstacle that comes in the way, you can blast past it, right? Can you see the trophy, right? The only reason you get knocked down as a and you keep coming back, you talked about coming back fail fast,
Yes.
right? It does take a certain type of believing in ourselves to come back again,
It does.
right?
Yes. Mm.
So that program is my attempt to prepare people for success in life. Success, I say success is being able to go after anything you want to go after,
Mhm.
right? You want to get a PhD, go for it. Dedicate yourself to it, commit yourself to it, resources, time, energy, and you will get it. It's the same thing I say it's in business. Just because you want it doesn't mean the journey will be easy. I think that's also helping people close that gap. And
Yes.
just because it's not easy doesn't mean it's unattainable, right? So, how do we demystify that journey? And for me now, what I now say we need is capacity development, is that moving ourselves from where we are to our desired position requires us to develop skill, It could be network. Network is part of capacity building. It
Mm.
could be knowledge, exposure in the right room, showing up to the right spaces, building the right relationships. And you're the expert in relationship, right? You know the power of a network. You know
Yes.
the power of a connection. It's a principle that successful people practice. The
Hmm.
reason we're doing this today is you and I connecting beyond just, right, a
Right.
class.
Right.
We need it's a skill we need also in business, because the next client is a relationship away. The
Right.
next customer is a smile away. It's an hello away. It's like you talked about talking to strangers. Is that stranger could be converted to a customer, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I had to do. Starting this January, I had to create this entire program of the real skill for success, and
I love it.
it could be applied into relationship, even personal relationship, professional relationship, any type of meaningful relationship that supports our own progress, right? And then
Mhm.
how we can also serve people, provide value. So that's what I had to do, because I kept seeing um a replay over and over again of certain mindsets that I consider to be standing in the way of the progress people need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. That's good. We've also adopted for our next program, we're going to have a motivational speaker come and talk to people before they take our plan for profit, which is a 9-week class.
that's fun. I support that.
Yeah.
I also love you talked about SWOT. So when
Yeah.
I do one-on-one, that's actually one of my first sessions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The reason is, yeah, the reason is because I really believe we can win in the market with our strengths, like the David and Goliath, right? Is that there are some unique strengths that we are gifted with, and we can differentiate. We can bring that into our businesses to differentiate how we deliver the service, right? So
Mm.
if you're in a competitive market and everybody is offering the same services, we need differentiation, right?
Right.
Through our brand statement. And oftentimes I've seen is, if we can identify a unique passion, a unique trait, a unique strength, that can be used as what I call the arrowhead strategy.
Mm,
You can
mhm.
lead with that, and everything comes behind. So, for
Yeah.
example, that's what I practice. So, I tap into communications a lot, right? So, at
Mhm.
my core, no matter what it is I'm doing or serving, right, what I lead with is communication, relationship building.
Because
And
that's your
that,
strength. That's your
yes,
strength.
it's,
Yeah.
I did, yeah, like I didn't have to go to school.
Yeah.
like, like
Yeah.
when my dad passed a few years ago, it was one of those life transformation stuff that I went through that
Mm.
even supports why I do what I do now. Is that I started remembering who I was as a young child, and at 8, 10, 15, 16, the things I used to do, I was like, I did not go to school for that. And I did it so well.
Yeah.
I was the public relations officer in my undergrad. I was the what we call the head girl in the British system in Nigeria. So I played a lot of leadership roles, even right, that required me to speak publicly, right, every week. And I think I probably should have just been a marketer. I should have just gone. I think that would have been something, because that's all I do today. That's all I do. I
Well,
live.
you're good at it and you like it. So that's the important thing. Yeah, we should take all our degrees away, all our professional experience away, and then, what shines forth, what shines true for you, that's what you need to use.
Yes, now it's the arrowhead strategy. But if that is all I do, I have to support it with results,
Yes, yes.
right? So many times people lead with results, and that's okay. If your unique strength is, oh, I'm exceptional, I'm this, right? Nothing wrong with that. But for me, I lead with my own unique strengths, and then I back it up with absolute exceptionalism in delivery of results. So when I host events, when my customers come, when my clients work with me, they leave with OMG, Toyin, that was amazing. So I'm also committed to an experience that leaves people like, wow, blown away, right? So that's my own personal gifts to the world is anybody. And I was saying this to someone, or maybe it was it my husband, like, here's my own, I won't call it mission statement, but this is my own positioning, is that if I'm going to invite anybody to join me in working on anything, for me to serve them to my event, I am committed to making sure, right, I over deliver, right? That not only do I say what I said I would do, I would actually go over and beyond, right? I will surprise them. And that's been the legacy. That's the legacy. So when global thinkers come to my event, when their team goes back, like president or like these major people, right? The feedback would be towing. We weren't expecting that. That was
Yeah.
right. Like you went. So it's that's the badge I want to wear.
Yeah.
And it's what has helped me all through my journey, whether in corporate, like even here as an entrepreneur, is I want people to know that if I invite them or if I say, come to my event or come to my class or I have this program, that they need to be able to trust the fact that I call it the efficacy, in medical terms. If a doctor is prescribing a drug, the, the trust factor for me to prescribe something to you, I must believe that you're going to feel better,
Yeah.
right? That it's that mindset is I will never offer someone in the marketplace anything I feel will not address the challenges they say that they're having. I will not. I would rather just not be doing this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So because of that conviction, I can passionately, absolutely message to the world, guys, skill development, capacity building. So I speak with that conviction, right? I speak with that passion that I have, that this is the way,
Yeah.
right? You want to achieve success, turn right, turn left.
Yeah.
Right? I've
Exactly.
done the work. I've gone on my own journey. I've
Yeah.
seen what it takes. And all I'm offering is a way for you not to make the mistakes I made. Right? So
Yeah.
I that's the passion for me. It's like I believe so much in it that I commit myself to delivering that message. Like, guys, I will shout from the mountaintop, I will scream it out, which is the communication side of me. I will
Yeah.
send that newsletter, I will bombard you, I will be at you. Why? Because I need you to help yourself not to fail, but to learn what you need to achieve everything you want to. And don't wait for anybody. Have you also seen that? What are people waiting for?
Yeah. I don't know. I have a client now who's asked me to do research for her, and I'm happy to do it, but she can do it. So I do it. I probably am enabling, but I give her the resources because it's just secondary market research that she can do at the library.
This is what I do. So I've developed resources. I have what I call the Entrepreneurial Workbook.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
series of 30 questions and it's an assignment. It gets them going on that research. In attempting to answer those questions, they will complete the research by themselves.
Oh,
It's a trick.
that is good. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I
Because
may need it. I
yeah,
mean,
because again, I do this because my first degree is mathematics and I have a
also is
second.
mine.
Yay!
Mathematics.
Right. And my second degree is information systems. So I used to be a
Also is mine.
programmer.
I had a minor in computer science.
Sis, I think
Yeah.
that's why we connect.
Yes.
So this is what I do. I reverse engineer to say, what are the desired transformative outcomes we want for people? For me, it's actually mastery. So I shared this, that there's information. I can tell you you can fish. That's information. There is knowledge. Knowledge could be I can teach you theory of fishing. I can also teach you the practice, right? You can give them a book. learn how to fish, or you can be there with them physically, which is what you do. You and I do this. We're there
Mhm.
physically and we're teaching, oh, this is how you string, this is the bait you use. That is
Right.
powerful. But this is what I now use to hold my members accountable. The job is not done. If what we want is to develop skill, you now have to practice
Yes.
and repeat the
Be
very
able
first time.
be able to teach someone how to do it.
Yes, the very first time you even attempt it by yourself, without the fish expert fisherman or fisherwoman by you, you're going to struggle. But when you do it 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, right?
Yeah.
That is the part that helps you to become a master. So, what I then try to do is, what are the programs I need to put in place that will take people from just information, from information to knowledge, to skill acquisition, to mastery? And that's what drives me using a lot of workbooks and programs, because when it comes to content marketing and sales, the message, the practice of marketing and sales is actually developing the skill of communication,
It is. Yep.
right? So even if I tell you what to do today, if I help you do it today, this is something you have to do every day for yourself.
Yeah.
So what I try to do is, this is a skill we must develop for you. That way you don't depend on me, because I can help you to do it today, but you need to do it tomorrow, next tomorrow, for the rest of the year. And I don't want you coming, right? So my programs are now designed to activity based, right? I would
Mhm.
ask a lot of questions. So for example, we have a customer insights and framework that I'll ask specific questions like, what are the desires of your customers? It's a
Oh,
simple
yeah.
question,
Uh-huh.
but guess what? They cannot answer it. You have to do the research. You have to talk to other people.
Yes.
So it actually gets them doing exactly what you're saying they should do.
Yes. That is great. As long as they don't think they can write it in
They can.
in first person and say, "Oh, well, I believe my customers will."
Well, but
They
guess
could.
what? After that, there's a series of other questions that
Oh,
will, like,
give me the name of the people that names of the people you talk to.
like, even if the first one you're like, right? There's another one I call blind spots. What can you see that you believe the customers cannot see?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So for example, the work we do, the work you're doing, you're supporting your customers, you're supporting your clients. But there are some things in their blind spots that you can see as the knowledge expert, as the leader, but they cannot see it. How do we call those things out? So for me, all of this practice develops muscles, because you can, in fact, one of them told me that she had to go talk to 2 other people before she could complete the assignment.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then I tell them, we need this assignment ready to go for next week. So if you skip this assignment, you're not ready for next week.
Yeah. Come back when you're ready.
Yes. So
Yeah.
anyway, this is what I've had to do, because my goal is mastery. Because once you become a master in fishing, now you can build a business that is successful.
Mhm. I love.
Now you can fly your plane. Like, it's like the pilot. Now you can go out there and become the best and compete, right? But that
Mhm.
journey to becoming a master, it takes time, it takes investment, it takes commitment, it takes discipline. And that's what I try to prepare people for. And I see out there, most people are just telling them, you know, just go on Instagram, just jump on reels, just do
Exactly.
all this stuff
Yeah.
that.
Just write a business plan. Yeah.
So what do you say to that? Is it that I struggle with, that's my biggest struggle, is I feel like we're not, people think, people are being made to believe it's just that.
Yes. And then they'll get a grant. They'll just
Ah,
write a business plan and then they'll get a grant or they'll get the
right.
loan they need.
Oh, I'm looking at time now. I know you have a hard stop and I
Oh,
still have
yes.
my assignment. So let's are you good with picking up a few comments on the screen?
Let's see. I don't.
So I see here Kenneth saying watching from Accra. And then he picked up on one of your quotes.
Oh, no.
Okay, let me put it on the screen here.
Oh, there. Okay.
Says you have to love the problem you're trying to solve. That's a you should take on that. You should take that and post it. It's a tweetable, and you should
Yes.
So anybody that has a question, quickly drop it as we're going to be wrapping up now. Um, Kenneth also says great. He uses SWOT and BMC for his IIS. I bet is his facility too. He said awesome validation. So I think we discussing the power of SWOT is a validation for him that is doing the right thing.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yes, it is. SWOT is powerful, particularly if it is done with somebody that can unlock like deep seated strength or weakness. Because I've had a client before that, what was her strength really in business, in her private life, was a big issue because she was applying it differently, and
Oh,
the
right.
spouse was like, no, right? So
Yes.
that's where managing our strengths also comes in and applying it, right? Kenneth says, is charging extra for such a kind of work a good idea? I'm not sure the context of that. What do you think about pricing strategy? Let's just quickly talk about that before we just let you go.
Okay. Pricing strategy.
Yes, people
So,
always say pricing my value. I want, right? What are your thoughts?
yeah. So for services, I always say value-based pricing. For products, it's more cost-based pricing plus value. But again, to figure out your value, what do you have to do? You have to go out and talk to people. You have to go talk to your competitors, see what they're charging. You have to see what people, how people value you. Can you charge $200 an hour? Or for this situation, do you need to go down to $175 an hour? So it's really getting out and measuring the market need for your services, market demand for your services.
Oh, thank you. So it's been a real pleasure. So could you
Yes.
let us know where people can find you, how they can connect with the WBDC? And then I know you have to go. I'll let you go. And then I have a few more announcements to share after we let you go to your next appointment.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me today. This was so fun.
It went so fast. The time
Yes, it did go fast. We could talk about hundreds of things.
I know.
So to reach out to me, you can just go on our website, www.wb as in boy, D as in dog, C as in cat.org. And you can find all of our resources there. And I look forward to hearing from some of you if you are interested in talking more about one of these topics. And thank
Oh,
you so much, Toyin. I loved this and hope to do it again sometime.
yes. You see why I do it too?
Yeah, it's so
Right.
fun.
I've had to engineer this in a way that is easy flow for me.
Hmm.
That way I can be more consistent and not make it too stuffy. Because
Yes,
I can be the work we do is very serious, right? The work we do, this is about livelihood, right? It's
yes,
heavy, it's intense. But
yes.
part of the journey I have gone through, and I also help people go through, is we can actually engineer and develop businesses that work with particularly our temperament.
Yes, yes,
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I look forward to more collaborations
yes.
with you. And this will also go out to our newsletter. So I want to thank you again. And then I'll let you go now on time, on
Okay,
time.
my
And
pleasure.
then
Have a
thank
great
you.
day.
Everybody tell her thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, awesome. Bye now. Bye for now. Oh my goodness, this was amazing. I hope you guys had a great time. Give me feedback because I want to host more of this. I know end of 2020, early 2021, I actually did an interview series with lots of leaders in government and business, really to support my community. So I'm hoping to bring that back. So let me know who you would like for me to bring on, and I'll put that together for you. So a few announcements that I have before I close out for today. So last week I did share about the product and service framework launch template that if you're trying to launch a new product and service, you can find out on my website. Let me get that link out to you quickly. Yes, the roadmap. So this was what I covered last week, how to launch and sell your products. And if you go to toyinumesiri.com/roadmap, this is the business growth roadmap. This is about accelerating your business growth and success. There are lots of programs that I've put out there around branding, marketing, supporting your marketing, understanding your customer profiles. This is what is required. I'm telling you, right? Like, and I'll keep bringing people that would also keep on delivering that message. It's about skill development, skill acquisition. And one of the things I also want to say, do not delay your success, right? You need this skill. And once you have this skill, you can start seeing results immediately. I see JJ saying, enjoy this so much. I enjoyed it too. This was fantastic. Kenneth said exactly. Chioma said instant gratification doesn't always translate to long-term success. Oh, this is what I say. There are short-term strategies that we need to be building today, but we also need to say, what am I doing today that cannot be sustained? Don't do anything today that you don't want to be doing for the next 10 years, right? So when people say do this, I'm like, is that a strategic decision? Is that a strategic decision? And strategic decision is just asking ourselves and understanding, why am I doing this? What are my desired results? By doing this, will it get me the desired results? Or is there an alternative route? Is there another way of doing this in a more optimized version, right? Always asking, how can I fast track my success? How can I accelerate my success? Because you will master these skills eventually. You will spend the next 5 years developing these skills. Or if you want to develop it sooner, that's why the academy is there. That's why these resources are there. My workbooks are there so that you can develop the skill sooner rather than later. Because eventually you still need the skill. So you're going to learn on the job by yourself for the next 5 years, or you could learn it in weeks, right? By doing the discipline and applying discipline and learning this, right? So I have templates out there. And then tomorrow at the academy, I'm actually going to be teaching on content strategy, how to develop effective content strategy. So I'm going to go through a whole lot of resources because content is powerful. But let me say this. Content is not entrepreneurship, but content supports marketing and sales. And depending on what it is you're trying to achieve, I'm already putting some gems out there. Let me quickly drop some gems, right? There are different types of content that achieves different types of results. There's content that inspires, that educates, right? That positions your brand, different types of content, but there's also a unique type of content that is about branding and selling, right? There's content that persuades. It's different from other types of content. So how do you build a content strategy that is effective for the message you're trying to deliver in the marketplace, for the brand you're trying to build, for the product you're trying to build or sell, right? The content is different. Let me give you an example as I'm wrapping up today. Nike will send a content out there that is about just do it. That content is getting us to continue to believe in their brand, what they stand for. But when you walk into a physical Nike store, the messaging in that store is buy this shoe. This is the price. This is why I say if you don't brand, selling will be difficult. If Nike hasn't told us, just do it. If they've not messaged to us the power of their brand, their conviction, how they care, what they care about, if they haven't showed us how they are willing to back athletes, the day you walk into their store, you may not even go into their store. Every time there's one by my house, every time you go there, there's a line. People actually queue to go into Nike because that story is a powerful story. People will stay under the sun waiting to pick that shoe. That's the power of a message. So there's a message that you are going to talk about your convictions, who you are, what you stand for, what you can do for people, what your passion is. That is one type of message you need to continue to do that, because the day you wake up and you say you want to sell something, that's what's going to help you sell. That is just a deep, taste of what to expect tomorrow at the Business and Leadership Academy. Thank you so much, every single person, for being here. I really, really, really do appreciate you all. And please go to my website, toyinyumesiri.com, to access the resources you need to accelerate your business growth and success, achieve success in business and life. It's been an amazing pleasure. Have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead, and see you around. God bless you all.